Brought to you direct from Studio 3B at Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, the American Hardwood Advisor is your source for trends, tips, and insights into how the building industry has evolved. Join me, Steve Stack, along with guest builders and industry leaders as we talk shop and go in depth on what it takes to be the best of the best. Dive into topics like architecture, industry trends, project plans, historical tools, tricks of the trade, and life's lessons from more than 6 decades of experience in the hardwood lumber business. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Stack here at Baird Brothers Fine Hardwood Studio 3B. And we have another nice episode of American Hardwood Advisor coming up with some great friends from the past 13, 14 years, whatever it's been. And that would be Rosanna and Cathy with Marketplace Events out of, you guys just moved, and you're over in Beechwood now, or you're in Solon still?
Well, we're actually working out of our homes, but our base is in Beechwood.
So we came to know each other through one of the major spring events in Cleveland, Ohio, and that would be the Great Big Home and Garden Show. Roseanne, I'll start with you. Your background with Marketplace Events, your position. I know during the course of the 10-day show, you live there, as does Cathy.
Absolutely, yes.
So tell us about yourself and your tenure with
Sure.
Marketplace.
So I started with a company called DMG, which actually turned to be Marketplace Events eventually after we sold, 17 years ago. And we always did events, mostly home and garden shows. Now we're more involved with holiday shows and wedding shows, but mostly home and garden shows. And I've been there as a group manager now, and a show manager, and a national sponsorship manager. We have 70 shows across the US and Canada, and it's just been a great ride. 17 years have been amazing, so.
And we've talked over the years, and as Baird Brothers has grown from the Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Youngstown market to now serving all 50 states, that's something we've had discussion on, and we've talked about. If we want to start doing national shows, we don't have to look no further than Marketplace Events because of our partnership that we've already established.
Right. We're in the major markets,
Right.
and we're there, and honestly, it's about finding the right venues and advertising properly and getting the people in, and that's the whole premise of it. Our mission statement basically is to get buyers and sellers together and see face to face. My
friend Kath. Cathy's my go-to girl when it comes to the Cleveland Home and Garden. She is our direct representative through Marketplace Events, and where's time gone?
I know. Right. We're getting old. Getting into our golden years here.
So you have an extended tenure with Marketplace Events also?
I just had 13 years here. Yes. So came aboard when our company, Marketplace Events, it was already formed as Marketplace Events, which was, they had divested from DMG. They were awarded the contract to run the Home and Garden Show at the IX Center. So they needed to put a team together. So I was very happy, just had my 20-year anniversary as a recruiter headhunter with a huge international search firm and temporary staffing agency. And my boss there said, I'm gonna possibly leave and go work for Marketplace. You wanna come with me? I'm like, sure, why not? So did my due diligence, interviewed, did all that, but came aboard as the kind of the first core foundation team for the sales, the outreach and sales, and that's where I spend my time. That's where we met 13 years ago on a phone call.
And folks, just to have an understanding, how many exhibitors roughly do you have at the Great Big Home and Garden Show?
Well, 650 plus. This past year with COVID, we did have a little bit less, but 650 plus exhibitors, companies on the show floor.
So all of us, Baird Brothers being one of your exhibitors, there's always hiccups. And your staff, our representative Cathy, you're a phone call, a text away.
Oh, yeah, constantly.
And you have 650 kids you're babysitting.
Roughly half, because there's another one of us. We have another colleague named Reese that takes care of about the other half. So, but we are very, is the right word, pitch it. Like if Reese's client needs something and she's not available, or vice versa, we
you
help
cross
each other
over.
out. Yeah,
You cross
yeah.
over.
Like Reese just as much as the two of us, right? So.
Right. And that's the beauty of it. Whether it's a Baird Brothers problem, I need electricity extended, whatever. You guys are always on site from the week prior, leading into setup, throughout the show, and then through dismantle.
Yeah,
right?
Typically 19 days, and we do typically have a stick-built home too, which is really 45 days before. But we do have some of our staff that's on site. But for us, it's about 19 days, and we're there the whole time, from morning till night, move in, move out, and during the show.
And then you've crossed your first hurdle, and then you have to attend to the general public.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have two customers, right? We have you, and then we have the 100,000 plus people that come and walk through our show.
The consumers.
We have to take care of, So customer service obviously is enormous in our industry. In fact, that's one thing that some of the exhibitors have said to us over the years is like, man, we do other shows and you never see the sales team or the show team. They're not really out, but I live to be on the show floor. I mean, I want to be out with all of you and the customers and seeing what's going on and putting out fires if I need to, or, having fun, really.
Well, and that's it. And over the years, skipping 2 years ago with the COVID scenario, and then this past year, I know for a fact that it was the first Cleveland Home and Garden show that I missed in probably over 20 years.
Wow.
In fact, I'm thinking closer to 23. And we've seen it change, but I'll say one thing: since you, Cathy, and have been our team contact, you come by the booth every day, just to say hi.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know about that. But.
You've got your 3 notebooks stacked up and your phone up to your ear.
Right. I always have that binder.
I know. She leaves it sometimes. I'm surprised. But
And that's so important. And that's why we have the relationship that we have with Marketplace Events and Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. And through COVID, we just picked up the phone to call and BS.
Yeah, right.
See how everybody was,
I know.
And that, at Baird Brothers, we work hard like that to develop relationships with our customers, and the same can be said of you guys.
I actually felt kind of bad during COVID because we, as a company and a team, we had to help out on other markets and shows. And as much as I wanted to call all my clients and say, how are you, chit chat, I didn't have time because I was doing things with our Northern Virginia or Austin shows, our Philadelphia shows. Yep. So there was a time where I was like, how come none of my clients are calling us to say, hey, where are you guys? Why aren't you bugging me to renew my booth, right? But it was just a matter of time, and resources. So it was fun when we finally got the green light to go ahead and get everyone called and back on the show floor.
Wasn't it exciting this past spring to be in front of an audience again?
Yes.
Absolutely. It felt so good. I couldn't wait. I really couldn't wait. But we didn't even know we were going back until like the end of August last year.
To the IX Center.
To the IX Center.
Well, and then they threw you another curveball, and they threw a late fall, early winter show at you.
Yes, so we were lucky enough to produce the Christmas Connection, and we actually did it with IRG, the new management company, and so we put that on in just a few months. We learned about it really early September, and the show was early November. So we only had a few months to do it, but we did it, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And you just brought up the fact that the management team has shifted gears, has changed up at the IX Center. You guys have to be excited. I mean, from the articles I've read, this new group, they're very proactive concerning the venue that we know as the IX Center.
Yes.
Can you give us some teasers as far as what might be in the works for the old IX Center?
Sure. So they are removing that Ferris wheel.
The iconic Ferris wheel is coming down.
It's coming down.
Still there though, right?
It's still there.
Yeah.
So they're starting, I think, construction very soon. And then they're going to build this huge wall. And they call it the Great Wall of Cleveland. And that's actually going to be where the wall is. The location of coming into the show is going to switch gears. We're going to come in through the east entrance versus the west entrance. They typically had both, but they're going to be using it as storage, and it's good. It's really good for the IX Center as well as the management company, because it's a revenue stream for them. But they see the importance of having an event center, and the event center is going to still be there, just a little bit different. It's going to have a little bit of a different flow, but it's going to be there, and we're so excited. And I actually have a little map here of the new floor plan. So we're excited to actually put that out and start probably selling it next week.
Good.
Now, the new management company is investing $50 million in enhancements and renovations, and early stories also said that there would be development happening around the building, right?
Yes, so they're doing it actually in phases. So phase one is basically taking down the Ferris wheel, putting up, that Great Wall of Cleveland, separating it out. They're also going to be, putting some electrical, some maybe new bathrooms, so there's going to be different phases to it. The first phase obviously is going to make it so that we can obviously have an event, and coming in through the east entrance. Because the east entrance doesn't have the parking capabilities as the west, they will figure it out where they might even have to, use like some type of little trolley or something to bus people, or, shuttle people back over to the east entrance. But, all in all, their focus is to make this a wonderful event center, and we're excited about it.
And for folks that don't get to go to other venues like the three of us do, that trolley system, I've seen that at other venues, in Orlando, the Orlando Convention Center. You guys are familiar with that. They have other means to get you from the parking lot to the entrances. And
it's certainly not abnormal at all. Like it's just really, parking and getting to the door as soon as you can. So, it'll all be good. It'll all work itself out. So eventually, I don't know which phase, but they are going to work then on the east parking lot to make it larger. So that'll be one of the phases, and then there'll be plenty of parking. But you know how big the IX Center is and how big the grounds are. Right now they actually have a circus tent out in the parking lot. I pulled up, I was like, what? So they're actually having a circus there.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that.
And when I pulled up, I could not believe how big this tent was out in the parking lot, and all these lights, and it was just pretty amazing. And there was horses, and so we'll have to look that up. And
I haven't heard either.
So that brings me to a point and a compliment. I hadn't heard about the circus coming to Cleveland, but everybody in Cleveland knows when the Home and Garden Show is coming to Cleveland.
Oh, they better.
Yes.
Because of your efforts in your advertising campaign. You use every medium possible.
Yes.
We do. And, we have a great marketing team. I can't even tell you, they are the best I think I've ever seen. So we have about 325,000 that we use on our marketing. And, with promotional value, it's probably way up there, more like 800,000 in value. But, we do TV, radio, social media, print, and everything does complement each other. And they definitely know what they're doing when it comes to the buy. If TV is not as popular, they'll move some monies over. They'll make sure that we saturate that market at least 6 weeks before the show, and it's saturated.
I know our approach to a couple on-site events that we host here at Baird Brothers in Canfield, we had to back away from them because of the COVID situation. And at the same time, we had to shift gears to replace that revenue stream. And I know you guys, in the course of the year and a half, 20 months, whatever it was, that we were all dead in the water when it came to trade shows or home and garden shows. You guys were at work. I know one of the things you implemented this year at the home and garden show, the great big home and garden show in Cleveland, was a contactless, paperless
Tickets.
guest ticket program. How'd that work out for you guys?
It worked out well. I feel like, anytime you introduce something new, there's always going to be a few little challenges and, hurdles to overcome. But, all in all, most of the people were pretty excited about it because it's easier to take, something digitally and send it to a friend versus, having it right there and trying to figure out how you're going to get it to somebody. So, yeah, it worked great.
I mean, there's less waste. I mean, we used to have, thousands of paper tickets that we would allocate to every vendor, minimally 10. And, some of them, unfortunately, wouldn't use them and we'd dump them at the end of the show. It's heartbreaking, right? So now everything's paperless. So you use the tickets if you need them. If you choose not to, then there's no waste involved. So.
And there are some people that still like the paper ones,
Yes,
which we definitely have, and it certainly will mail them to them or do whatever they want, to
And
make
there's
sure.
pros and cons. I mean,
Right.
to it. In the past, with the paper tickets, I would always see one of you two or one of the gals at the service counter. And I would get my tickets, and then I would have a stack of envelopes, and every
at
morning
will call.
I'd
Yeah.
run them down to will call. In effect, that saved me time because I'm on whatever device I want to be on, and I'm pushing them to our guests.
Right. So it's a little easier.
And the end result is, if my guest shows up with their phone, they get admitted to the building, they're still coming to my booth. So I haven't lost that personal contact.
Sure.
I'm still making that personal contact in the end.
Good.
In the end. Having just traveled recently, the only thing you need to get through the airport is your driver's license and your phone with your ticket on it, right?
Right.
Yep.
Same premise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the way it is right now. We also, during the really hard lockdown period where we couldn't function in live events, we did beef up our online exhibitor listing that every vendor in our show gets a full page dedicated to their business. And we've always had it, but we added way more bells and whistles. So you can put all your social media, your BBB link, your obviously website was always there. You can upload video content, which I think you did on yours, and then 5 images of your projects or work or services. So it became sort of our virtual showrooms while we couldn't have live events.
Right.
We did try to do a little bit of media buy digitally to drive people to our website so they could still shop with our vendors. And there was no extra fee for that. It's included in the cost of the booth that they purchased, the year before we thought COVID was happening.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's it. So it was actually an added value.
yeah, it
Definitely.
became, yeah.
But, it's so easy to go to our website and plan your day. And it's all by category, so somebody
it's
can put in
nice.
windows or siding or roofing or whatever
wood.
they want to put in, and then all the different companies will come up and they can research and actually plan their day before they even come to the show. So at the time that we did it, we were promoting a lot of the holiday shows, And we actually had an actual store where people can order products from our website. And it was great. So many of the local vendors, especially with the Christmas shows, and they made wreaths and things like that. It really did help their business when COVID was taking over.
Oh, definitely.
So It was very helpful.
And that's getting back to the conventional Great Big Home and Garden Show that we're used to. Talk about your vendors. I mean, I've experienced it. I know. It's anything from nuts and bolts to food to home improvement to lawn and garden. You cover the gamut. Tell us about that.
Oh, I'll let Cathy do that because she's the vendor queen.
So this show is unique in a lot of our shows because it's what we call categorized. So if you looked at our floor plan, not this one, but the one that's in the show guide, it's color coded. So green was our lawn and garden, blue was our remodeling, construction, renovation. And then we had this one section that was kind of what I call almost anything goes. So because our show is mass attended by high demographic or very strong demographic consumers, people that want to be in front of an audience like that, we will allow them in the show as long as we had the space for them. Our core vendors, you guys, remodelers, construction, landscapers, that's the premise of the show, so we always have to focus on that first. But as long as there was room available, people loved coming to this other miscellaneous section because they could discover gadgets and the ShamWows that, we've known from 20 years ago. We do have that in this particular show. We also have a very fun little cash and carry marketplace for like some of the crafters and the jewelry makers and things like that. But the premise is home, garden, remodeling, renovation, kitchens and baths, basements, outdoor living, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And we fall in a product category that they're not going to take it home from the Great Big Home and Garden Show that day. We've always approached it as it's being in front of the people, a branding event. I'm not selling the beef jerky and they're taking it home with them that day. But I will say I have had firsthand experience of being at the show and working our booth, talking to people, and 2 years down the road, they're back at the Great Big Home and Garden Show with a set of blueprints, say, hey, we're breaking ground this year.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, we hear a lot of those stories.
So it's the front end and the back end.
Right.
And everything in between.
And the networking for someone like you, like with all the other contractors and designers that are either in the show or visiting the show, right? And walking the aisles as visitors, they could be an interior decorator or an architect, right? And they might then, network with you in order to spec your products in their projects and their jobs. Or my girlfriend showed up with her husband and I said, so what are you looking for? She's like, we need doors. We hate our doors. I said, come with me. I walked them over to your booth, introduced them to your team. I said, you two and they spent 30 minutes with your guys.
Yep.
And both parties thanked me. My friend thanked me and your team thanked me, right?
I received a text message because I was at another obligation in Orlando, and our sales representative texted me. He says, hey, that Cathy girl just brought friends over.
Yeah,
they're looking for doors.
Right. So it's nice that we know the vendor mix because we can help any consumer, anyone that is looking for something. We're kind of like walking encyclopedias, right? As far as what's on the show floor.
Oh, your floor plan inside,
very
back and forth,
yes.
Right?
It's really, inspiring for people when they come to the show. They're not, maybe they don't have a project in mind, but all of a sudden they're going, oh my gosh, when they walk through the house, they might see something that might interest them. Or if they're walking through the gardens and all of a sudden they think, oh my gosh, that would be so great to have that fire pit in my backyard. It really does inspire people to start projects also. So it's definitely something to give people,
That's
thoughts and ideas, and that's the whole reason why
It's
people
probably
show
one
up.
of my, well, you got your eyes fixed, right? From the show. But I invite a bunch of prospects to come by, and I always call them, like, did you come to the show? And I love it when they like, yeah, I'm mad at you. I'm like, why? I spent $2,500 that I didn't expect to spend on a play set or a hot tub. I'm like,
Or a
well,
shed.
yeah, right? So they're like, I didn't go to the show to buy that, but it was there, and I fell in love, and I made a purchase, right? So
happens.
that happens all day, every day at our
Exactly.
show, right?
Exactly. I don't recall what it was. It's probably been 10 years ago. I walked home with a set of cutlery.
And
You
that's not cheap cutlery.
Yeah,
And so I've seen it for 10 days, and it's like, okay, it's got to go home, right?
I gotta have it.
3 years ago, the last thing I needed was another outdoor grill.
Gotta have it.
Guess what came home from Cleveland with me?
Yep.
And we see the same thing,
Yeah.
and we use the same marketing in that we have a little tagline, inspiration starts here.
Yep.
And
It does.
and you're right. You walk through the gardens. I mean, they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. If you don't come out of there with some ideas, you're walking through blindfolded, right? And the same thing with the show floor.
Yeah.
Right.
And you guys, the Home and Garden Show, the holiday shows, the wedding shows, you're having different audiences, but I've got to believe you have a lot of crossover audiences too.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And we do advertise to both of them, right? We crisscross to make sure that, they'll get a deal. The people that came to the Christmas Connection will get a deal to the Home and Garden Show, and vice versa, to make sure that, they come to both shows. We want them to come to the shows because we know that, they enjoy it and they get inspired by it. So why not, right?
No, and we see the same thing, and our guest passes, tickets. I look forward to coming to Cleveland every year. I was a rep in the Cleveland market for Baird's for in excess of 20 years. I still have customers of 20, 30 years even, that they've never been to Canfield, Ohio. But in changing positions and not being in the field every day now, I go to the Cleveland Home and Garden Show, and it's like a family reunion
Right, I was
for
going
me.
to say, it's got to be a reunion for you.
Right.
Lots of mini reunions,
Yes.
right?
And
It's a good feeling.
it is.
It is.
It really is. And as you guys do, we work hard at building and maintaining those relationships. And the Great Big Cleveland Home and Garden Show is a great place to do it. So let's go back to COVID. How tough was it?
It was tough.
It was rough.
It was. I still remember, we actually have another show. It's the Cleveland Home and Remodeling Show. And in 2020, we were just getting ready to move into that show. And we were told, we were brought into our conference room and we were saying, listen, this is bigger than what we can handle. We're going to just take 2 weeks off. That's what our boss told us. 2 weeks off, and we'll just communicate, but, we're not going to run the Cleveland Home and Remodeling Expo. We're going to have to shut that down. And, I'm thinking, all right, 2 weeks, that's not so bad, and it's going to be fine. Well, that 2 weeks obviously turned into, almost 2 years. I mean, when you think about
Yeah.
it. And, there's a lot of us that were furloughed, and then we were brought back slowly. But, coming back was great, but it still wasn't the same until we can really actually have an event and be face-to-face again. And, we started coming back slowly in some of the markets, and, it was good to see, but, everybody was wearing masks, and it was different. Everything was different. And I'm just so happy to see that, things have changed for the better. Obviously health and, keeping people healthy and making sure things are safe, is our first concern. And I'm glad that Marketplace Events, took all the precautions, making sure that, we're following all the venue rules or the state rules that they had in place. You know, so we would have done anything to get back, but at the same time, we wanted to make sure
Yeah,
everybody was, you know, safe and healthy.
It was such a fine line to walk too,
Yeah.
right? Because, you know, we might have felt one way, but then the venue might have had one rule, or the government, you know, the county. It's usually the county health departments.
Right?
I mean, you know, the tough thing for our industry is our revenue is the square footage, you know, and selling each inch of our show floors. We couldn't sell for a full season. So you're talking everything that we do to generate revenue was taken away from us. So as they brought us back, that's why I was sort of helping out in all these other markets, because luckily with my skill set, I was able to just dive right in, and I do bond with people really quickly, so I could get right in and start calling these companies that I didn't really know anything about. So the first show that I worked on was the first fall show of last year that we ran, which was in Austin, Texas. You know, so the struggle that we kind of, you know, had as we kept moving forward was really the companies that didn't come back this year to Home and Garden, the biggest reason was because they were too busy and they were short-staffed and
The product.
or
couldn't
and
get the
or
product.
they couldn't get the
Supply.
product,
Yeah,
right?
supply.
So they weren't saying I'm not coming this year and I'm never coming back again. They were just I can't come back this year. Plus we only really gave them a few months notice because of the late announcement for the IX. So all of those things, we still ended up with over 400 companies on the show floor, which was, I thought, very
Pretty amazing.
respectable. Yeah,
I thought
and it was a
good.
nice show, right?
Yeah.
For what? But the good news, though, is even though maybe overall attendance headcount was down because, you know, consumers were still a little hesitant, those that came all needed something, right?
Right.
So if we were at 100,000 before COVID and we were at 85 after, some of my clients got better and more leads this year than they had gotten in 2020, which it just goes to show you that audience was very concentrated and they needed work, right? They needed things.
The products
And we experienced that firsthand, both
Yeah.
locally, regionally, and nationally. Our local Home Builders Association show, you know, it had good consumer support. You folks show up at the Great Big Home and Garden Show in Cleveland there. You know, guys reported back to me, numbers may have been down, but people were talking.
That's right.
And I recognized it on the national level at the International Builders Show in Orlando. It was only about 3/4 the size that it normally is, but the people that came, they were there on a mission.
Right.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's kind of self-leveling.
And you know what I say to a lot of the prospects, because I'm constantly trying to invite new people in, and I really do think this is true. So if my husband and I wanted to get our kitchen remodeled, what a lot of the consumers are experiencing is they can't even get a contractor to call them back, let alone get on their calendar. So what better way to get in front of a reputable firm than to go to the Home and Garden Show, right?
Right.
There's certainly going to be somebody to talk to at the booth, at the ABC Kitchens and Bath booth, right? So for that reason, I think the consumers thought, well, if I don't get on a schedule soon, I'm going to be looking at 2025 before I get my work done.
Right.
So if I have to wait until 24 to get my project, at least I know I'm on a good company's calendar, you know? And that's kind of where we're at right now. But, you know, that won't go on forever. And I think that's kind of where people are now trying to decide, you know, I have to start planning for 24.
Very, very much so. And folks, speaking of calendars, the people can visit marketplaceevents.com
GreatBigHomeandGarden.com.
or Great Big Home and Garden.
Yes, to be very
And-
specific for the show, but marketplaceevents.com has all of our shows.
Right, whether you're in the southwest part of this country
Yes.
or down south, New England,
Yep.
Yep,
up
it has the whole
north of the
listing.
border, up into Canada.
Yep, lots of
Yep.
Canadian.
You have a complete listing of
Complete listing.
where you're going to be, how long you're going to be there, and
Yes.
it's a very interactive, friendly website to follow along.
It is.
And it's nice because it's chronological. So as the shows happen, they drop off the top and then they go to the bottom. So you can just go straight down the list and see what's next, what's coming up next.
Yeah. So if folks if folks want to follow along from another region of the country, what'd you say, 70 shows?
We have 70 shows across the U.S. and Canada.
So you guys are pretty easy to find.
Yes, we are.
And
I want to say something because something you said earlier triggered when I'm again talking, and I feel like consulting with people. And let's say you started a lawn service, and you're like, well, I want to grow this and go throughout Ohio. Then I want to go from Ohio to Pennsylvania, Michigan, Indiana. I say, Steve, when you go to expand, do yourself a favor. Look to where we run shows, and don't even think twice about whether it's a good market. If we're in that market running a home show, we've already done our due diligence, and it's a good place for you to expand, right? And I tell them that all the time because I'm planting a seed for our own company for a future vendor, but I'm also helping them grow their business, right?
Yeah, and I was addressing the consumer side, and you turned it and put it to the exhibitor side. Through the same contact, Great Big Home and Garden Show or marketplaceevents.com. If there's companies out there that want to look into exhibiting at one of your shows, they can do it at either one of those.
Either one of them, and we have a contact us and want to exhibit. So we definitely have that open to anyone who wants to just even get more information about the shows.
So I'm excited about the new management team at the IX Center, the huge investment that they're bringing forward, and I know you guys, your whole team are a bunch of busybodies, and you haven't been sitting still. What else do we have coming up in 2023 that we're not out of 2022 yet? You'll be starting your fall stuff,
right?
And then into 2023.
So we'll have the Christmas Connection, which will be at the IX Center, and then that'll be in November. And then we have the Great Big Home and Garden Show, February 3rd to the 12th, at the east entrance of the IX Center. And
the all-new Great Big Home and Garden Show.
Yes, all new. And then we have our new Cleveland Home and Remodeling Expo, which will be March 24th through the 26th. That is a little bit more geared towards, the home improvement. We won't have the big houses or the gardens in that show, but it'll be more focused. And don't worry, we'll have some great features there. And of course, all the great exhibitors, so that if somebody's looking to remodel their home. But we're looking forward to it. It'll be a little bit smaller than Great Big, but definitely, going to be worth the trip to the IX Center.
And to piggyback off Roe announcing about the Home and Remodeling Expo, we did run this for 4 consecutive years at a different venue, and we waited purposely to get IX Center dates. So we're ready and excited to relaunch it. But often my customers will say, well, why are you doing 2 shows only 6 weeks apart? And the answer is we did pretty intense studies several years ago. And we found in multiple markets where we did this study that less than 4% of the same individuals went to both shows. Therefore, even though you're in the 10-day Home and Garden Show in early February, you should, if you have the budget and the time, do the 3-day show because you're going to get exposed to almost an entirely new audience. Right. And and the way I look at it is, if, again, going back to my husband and I, we need a new kitchen. We go to the Home and Garden Show. I spent 4 hours there and my whole Saturday. I found good vendors. I'm now taking the next step. There's no reason for me to go to another show in 6 weeks. I already fulfilled my needs. But if I miss the Home and Garden Show, thank God there's another show for me to catch before, the summer, because I still need this kitchen done, right? So that's kind of why we know that there's...
And plus for the exhibitor, a 10-day show could be quite lengthy, and, sometimes they can't, work that full 10 days and be away from their business. So, giving them the opportunity to do a 3-day show is huge for the exhibitor, because they know that they can, have the weekend to go ahead and sell to the masses and be face to face, and then still be at their office during the week.
So I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you folks, and to your point, you went and spent 4 hours walking around. In our society today, and in Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods world, we're blessed with a very strong online business. But if I'm making an investment like that, a lot of times I want to see, feel, touch, speak to someone, and experience it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Experiential.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're hitting a really important point. The reason that live events and home shows in particular are alive and well and kicking is because if, again, my husband and I need our kitchen done and we go to the home and garden show, and assuming we've done our job and we've provided a nice selection of vendors and companies and professionals, I can shop in one room under one roof in a matter of 2 to 4 hours and check off all my to-do, honey-do things, provided we've done our job and gotten the right vendor mix there. And so I am now ready to make a purchase decision, right? So let's say I want to buy a hot tub. There are 3 to 4 hot tub dealers at our show. I can go from A to B to C to D, and then before we walk out, which one do you want to buy, honey? I like this one, I like that one, we'll go with this one. And then we go back and we sign a contract. So we're making it easy for them to do business and consumers and shop and get to the next stage of that buying decision, whether it's buy it here or get the estimates and sign the contracts later. Right?
Bringing them right down that funnel.
Right.
And it is about relationships too, right? I mean, when you meet somebody, you can get a feeling of how that's going to go, and feeling how you get along with that person, or what the trust factor is, and it's about that relationship and forming that bond. And if you feel good about it, then you're going to feel much better about them coming to your home too. I know, like, a lot of times you'll make a phone call and you'll say, I need help here. I need like my driveway done or something. And then, they never show up, or, and you've never met them and you really don't know too much about them. But here you can learn about that company.
And that's one of the things that with our marketing partners that we're very aware of in developing an online scenario purchase, is having enough content to build that credibility
Yes.
of a customer out on the West Coast buying lumber from a little company in Canfield, Ohio.
Yep.
And but we've had enjoyed success at that, but it's just so much easier when you're looking at
Touching
your new kitchen countertops,
Right.
or everything looks good in pictures, but
Absolutely.
It looks so much better when you're looking at it and going, oh, that would look good in my kitchen.
So my husband and I have been talking about redoing our nice maple wood cabinets, which I struggled to cover up, but they were 20-some years old. So he came to the show, and there were 2 or 3 painting contractors that do obviously the reface with paint, which was the option we were probably leaning towards. He stops at Textbook Painting's booth, happens to be a guy working there that is from our community that my husband knew. So again, that whole personal, he talked to him, they had before and after samples all along the back of their booth. We're like, yeah, we'll get an estimate from them, right? Long story short, they did the work, they sent us the most fabulous worker. Like, I have nothing but amazing things to say about them.
She made them lunch and dinner every day, but whatever.
And then Sue used them too, our other colleague, she used them, but just like such a positive experience. So me as a consumer, we did get 2 estimates, but we went with this one, and I mean, I just can't say enough about the whole experience, so.
And whether it's Cathy with Marketplace Events selling Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods exhibit space at a show, or whether it's cabinet company XYZ selling you new cabinetry or resurfacing treatment, that's what we strive for, is to fulfill our obligation and to make sure it goes in a way that when their next project comes up, you're going to be the first one they think of, or you're going to be the first one I think of. And that's what we work for.
Right.
And we, you know,
And
and
you're
I
right.
know, you know, your whole team. I've had the fortune over the years of becoming acquainted with quite a few, and it's nice when you've done your work. We both can enjoy that type of relationship. You know.
Well, and that's, you know, for the exhibitors to come back year after year, and obviously to the consumers to come back year after year, you know, that's the end result. That's what we want. We want to make sure everyone's happy and we're giving them what the consumers what they're looking for. And obviously you coming back to us, it means a lot to us because, you know, that's what we want. We want to make sure that the exhibitors are having a good experience and that they're getting a good return on their investment, or the brand awareness, or the leads that they're looking for.
So I'm thinking you guys are going to have fun this fall and this spring in promoting the 2023 Great Big Home and Garden Show at the newly improved, renovated IX Center. It is in February. And the dating on it in 2023?
3rd through 12th.
3rd through the 12th.
Yeah, Friday the 3rd through Sunday the 12th. Super Bowl, do we know when that is yet? Super Bowl normally falls on the second Sunday.
Second Sunday, yeah.
That's okay.
So sometimes.
It worked out okay last year. We were a little nervous about it because usually it was the first Sunday of our.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It usually falls
I
first.
think it's going to be the second one this time, but that's okay. Yeah. We'll just close at 5 instead of 6.
And the Browns are going to be there. You know that, right?
Yeah, right.
They predicted it. Somebody on TV said we're going to be there.
You just said it on TV.
I did. Yeah. Go Browns.
So, guys, Roseanne, Kath, thanks for coming down today. We enjoyed having you. We enjoy the partnership we share with you guys. And ladies and gentlemen, please jump onto their website, Great Big Home and Garden Show, Cleveland, Ohio, IX Center. It's the spring event in Cleveland.
Yes, you can't miss it.
And I'm really excited for the new format. We've already worked on our contract.
You're already booked.
We don't know where our home's at yet.
Not yet, but we'll figure out.
We got an idea.
We're gonna figure that out. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep following on all of our social platforms. More great guests like these two gals today. We look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. For all you folks listening, thanks for talking shop with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. If you've enjoyed this episode and want to stay up to date with the American Hardwood Advisor series, give us a like and subscribe. For more tips, projects, and inspiration, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, or at BairdBrothers.com. Until next time,